Okay, so you're looking at this 1984 Raleigh Superb. Now let's say now you've jumped on your bike and your gears aren't changing as they should. What can you do? Well, the first thing you can do, your contact surfaces inside here, give them a little squirt with good old traditional WD-40. That's your first thing, that's your most important thing to do. Don't use a WD-40 specialist penetrating oil. Just use standard regular WD-40 to get into your mechanism. It will seep through the layers of the componentry inside, and it'll give it surfacing and also protection against rust or future decay. The next one we're going to look at is our shifter chain. Being down at the lowest part of the bike, your linkage here will pick up a lot of debris. Grit will get in between the teeth, it'll wear away and eventually wear through the tiny links of this chain. Same as we fall down now to where the cable disappears into the framework, you want to get into there. Now don't just put your lube straight onto it, because there is dirt already on the linkage. That will then be taken further inside the cabling, and this will actually start the rust. Use an evaporating cleaner such as Knoll Car Brake Cleaner and just give it a bit of a squish over so it cleans out, same as down in there, and that will then clean out and take away any of the debris. Now, depending on the environment you're in, if you're in a wet area, you're going to need wet lube for this chain, or if you're only going to use the bike in the dry weather, like I intend to, then you need dry lube, and it is exactly what it says on the tin. Durable idea in dry weather. So if you're in somewhere like oh, I know, middle of the Amazon basin and it's constantly damp and wet, then use a wet lube. If you're in an area which is inclemently dry, then this is the guy for you. And you just literally just drop some on the chain, work it through your fingers, and that will find its way in through the rest. Put something through your inspection window to get into the mech, and a little dap on your chain there will protect your wire as well. It'll protect it all the way through. Right, the next thing you might find when you're shifting gear, the gears are working fine, but sometimes you find your gears are dropping in and out unexpectedly. Is not what you want. So if we bring this back now, and here we have a shoulder. Sorry about that. Is our oil import. These require regular maintenance, and a lot of people fail to lubricate their sturmey archer gear. Some of the bikes have an oil in front hub. This one doesn't. This requires regular service, however, because it's an open bearing, not a seal cassette, as a lot of the new bikes. So the first thing you've got to do is open your oil import, and this can be a tad tricky, especially on camera, because you have to get your fingers inside and get the bugger open. As you can see now, use my nail. There you are. And that there is the port open, so you can see now, and there's a little hole inside. Now it's assuming the bike hasn't been lubricated for a long time. So if your hub is sticking, you lift up your port like so. Try and get it in the camera as you can see it. And you feed down in your straw. You just get this on there. Probably a WD-40. And you stick it in your hole and you give it about a 4-second pump of WD-40. 1, 2, 3, 4. Leave it in there for a couple of days and just work your wheel. Keep the wheel so it's not all in one place, and eventually, and change your gears as you pedal. I'm going to do it now on camera because I'll have to keep realigning the shot. But after a few days, your gears inside, which have got rusty and sticky, they'll start to free them up, and you'll feel the benefit for it. But you can't just leave the WD-40 in there. Then it's a penetration oil and a a moisture dispersant, and you need to get into the hub then some proper oil, the correct oil for the gears. And for that we use 2-stroke or lawnmower oil. So this is the stuff you need, 2-stroke or lawnmower oil, engine oil, to get into the hub. It's a very thin mineral oil. It's not a synthetic or semi-synth. It's the oil which is around, which was used and designed for at the time for doing the hubs. And the best way to do it is with a syringe, which I'll show you now. So first up then, let's get the camera down on there. Open up the bottle. Get your syringe, any syringe will do, and you want to withdraw around about 30 milliliters of oil. So stick your syringe in, and there's your measurements on the side in 10 milliliter increments, and suck out what you need. Now, because I've just filled this now with penetration oil, I want to offset the amount of oil I put in. So if it's designed on 30 ml of oil, you want to double that to 60 ml, because wherever oil you put in, the WD-40 is going to thin it out. So I've taken out here 60 milliliters on the syringe, and this will give you a surplus then out of the hub, because you already put 30 milliliters in, and you know you're going to put another 60 milliliters, so you're going to have 90 ml in the hub. So all this is going to come out. Bring this up here. So this amount of oil then, so you put 30 ml in, you have to counteract that 30 ml, so you want 30, and it's going to thin out, so you only 60 ml in there. And all through the seals, etc., that oil is going to come out. So one thing to do with that is once you put the 60 ml now of your lawnmower oil in, is work the bike to get all the oil through all the gears. So that's what we're going to do next. Okay, so she is a bit fiddly to get into, and the nose of this syringe is a little bit large. But we're going to slowly squirt it down in. You will get a little bit of spillage. But there now, there's 60 ml of oil down into the gearbox, or hub drive, whatever you want to call it. Now what we're going to do now, I'll do it off camera, is run up the wheel and get the lubrication going through all the gears. I'm probably going to run this for about 10 minutes to make sure everything is nice and mixed together, and then we're going to reset the hub at the bottom so a lot of the oil then can run out and we can catch it in a tray underneath. As we're here and working on this area of the bike with the chain, I've decided while we're here to give the rest of the chain a little bit of a lube as well. So we're going to see now how dry the rest of this chain is. I've never had this one off before. So we're going to have a look now to see how dry she is. So the cover is looking particularly bone dry on the inside. We don't want to break it particularly or crease it, but this hasn't been off before. I'm looking at this. There we are. There we are. It looks like she's never been off. Yeah, looking at that. That chain is completely bone dry. She's been like that from the factory. So again, like I said, using both wet conditions and damp conditions, we got to treat this now with some dry lube while we're at it. And give this chain at the same time a little bit of a once over. Now you can be quite anal about this and do every single link with a pipette, but on these old bikes there's no need to. They're built so strong and sturdy. They didn't really change in almost 80 years of production. Now what I can do is now you can run your finger, because it will work its way eventually through all the links. And there's a drain at the bottom by here for the excess oil to drip out through, so don't think it's going to fill up anyway. The original name was an oil bath chain, and being the chain would always have oil in the bottom to keep it lubricated. It would collect in the bottom with the dust and drain out through the bottom. Actually, this is actually sounding quieter already, even though I'm only turning it quiet. Oh, a little bit much then. Well, on the crank arm. On it again though, to stop imperfections. So let's run that now. Turn that crank. That sounds beautiful. That does sound really, really nice. Oh, we've got a vibration coming through, guys. Your vibration coming through somewhere. Do you hear that then? We'll investigate that now. Okay, find out what the vibration was. Where I've used the bike stand is pop the cable out here, and the cable was rubbing on the tyre down in there. So that's what our vibration was, just the cable on there where I'm using the bike stand. So that's a bit relief. I thought it was something bent and out of place. So while we got the chain guard off, we'll run her up. See, she's running nice now. The vibrations, change her through the gears. Into second. Into third. So she's in top gear there. She's running nice. Down to second gear. And down the first. She's running lovely. We're going to use the opportunity as well. Get a bit. I was going to get some brake cleaner down in here. I think I will. Is it? Because oil as well, obviously collects water as well. Doesn't matter so much down in the bottom of the crankcase, but is where the rest lubricates through. So I love the smell of brake cleaner. Give that to have a bit of clean up on the background here, because again, when it collects around the frame at the back, it'll give you rust around the dropout points, etc. Around here, these tend to rust in this area. So I use it now. Use some brake cleaner on there, bit of WD-40, plaster it on, don't matter. And that then will give you a water repellent surface to stop the rust in that area. Okay, let's pop our crankcase back on. Don't cut your fingers, put a little bit. Because these old tin cases are a bit temperamental. So you rub it on the inside just for there. Bring it over a little bit. I'll do some fine adjustment on this when she's back in. In you go. I'm in my own shadow here, I can't. Okay, you want to give yourself a millimetre on there, there we are. Where you get that just sitting on the crank arm. Push over that way. Right, so it's not that way, it's back this way. Okay, now what we're going to do is now we're going to drain the hub and get the excess oil out of the hub. Okay, we're back on camera. First we've got to get a rag in there and clean off some, because we've had the engine oil on here now and she's been spinning and rotating for the last 10-15 minutes. It's just opportunity to clean off some of the crap off the hub and preserve the chrome for decades to come. Now this was an 80s hub and these was prone to the chrome flaking on these hubs, because by the 80s, end of the 80s, the quality of finish wasn't as good as the 60s or the 50s hubs. Really the 50s hubs is probably the pinnacle of sturmey archer production for the best quality hubs. Right, so what we're going to do is now we just get our hand in here and open the drain port or the fill port. Okay, we're now going to take it to horizontal. Now a lot of the oil would have collected in the dynamo area, so it would have come through, because remember there are no seals in these hubs. But as we put this underneath the wheel now, you can see now the oil, the excess oil now dripping out and catching on the rag underneath. And I'll put a clean rag there on top, piece of paper, as you'll be able to see in a short while the amount of dirt and filings were actually coming out of the hub. And that's what we want. We want the, where it's been stationary or lack of use, any rust which would have formed on the surfaces, because obviously the oil settles in the bottom, so the top bearings would have been getting minimal lubrication. I don't know when the bike was last run. Like I said, I had it brought in from Ireland. She was there taking it from America, and from America she went from Holland. So this bike has done a lot of travelling. So it's probably actually travelled more miles by ship than it is on the road. So we're going to let the excess oil now drip out. And you can see, there we are, on my finger. Now look, you can see the colour on my finger there now. That went in bright green. So we have a comparison here. You can see the oil in the pipette or syringe on my right hand side is bright green. And you can see now the dirt on my finger there is totally different. So that's all the dirt now coming out of the hub. And that dirt would have been rubbing between the gears, acting like a paste. And it would have been grinding away the fine rust granules, acting like sandpaper, and that's what wears your gears out. So that's why you need a lube change, if you like. We just did a gearbox oil change on the hub. I'll do a few miles on this now, not much, 3 or 4 miles, which is a lot of rotation, and we'll give her another oil change to make sure that it's clean, and then we'll have a look at greasing the hubs, etc., on front and rear. If you've got a Sturmey Archer oil port on the front as well, on your front hub, you would service it exactly the same way. If you're not going to take the hubs off to clean and grease them, they need to be lubricated. I would probably say every 1,000 miles because of the age of the bikes these days. So a lot of these bikes have gone decades and never been touched. A lot of people do just see them there spinning, that's okay. But what happens is the oil is mixed with road traffic film. It impregnates the bearings, etc., and that damages the hubs and drastically reduces the life of the bearings and hubs. This bike here now, she's an 84 bike, so she's around about 94, 2004. She's about 40 years old, this bike. Whereas my other one, which I was searching, she's 1961. Rowan is going to be doing a fabulous job on the hubs on that. I have every faith in the guy. Ex-rally technician, had his own rally dealership. The guy knows exactly what he's doing. I'm an ex-Mazda dealer technician. So my experience in the cars, but I do know that with the gearboxes in the cars, they should be done the same way. 100,000 miles, dump the oil out, clean out, use a flush like an engine flush. And see, with engines, they should have an engine flush as well, but for some reason today, the youngsters, they just drive the cars, or the designers design the cars to just drive until they die and throw them away. Very wasteful. Okay, so let's have a quick look over the bike. So some of the things we've done, obviously we got the new rack on the front. A little bit of corrosion on the mudguard there. So I'm going to spray out some WD-40 now, prevent it going any further, because they're going to be refinished in a few months. When I have the 61 Superb done, I'm having this mudguard repainted at the same time. 2 birds with 1 stone. Also got the bag carrier here. I'm trying to get over a nice pair of chrome handlebars because they got a little bit flaky. Might get them re-chromed yet, I don't know, keep it all original. Our ding dong bell. Absolutely fabulous bell. One more time. And that's got to be re-chromed as well, I think. This all done. The dynamo is working. I'm not crazy about these rear light connections on them. That just goes in and you flick a switch on the back, and that's the connection for the dynamo for the rear light. But apart from that, everything else is working fantastic on the bike. I'm going to give this a going over as well. After this, I'll show you what I got now to go over the bike. And this stuff, I swear by it, it's by Muckoff. It's called Bike Protect. And what it actually does is it puts a silicone layer over the bike of sorts. Don't ask me what it is exactly. Premium post-wash protection for all bikes. And this stops all corrosion like this occurring. What's occurring? So okay guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. And we'll be giving another service on the rear hub, but I won't be doing that on the camera. So I'll now see if we can put any filings now that come through. Yeah, you can see it dripping now. So you look at that there. Yeah, you can see it's a black shit coming out. So get a bit of focus. As that's cleaning itself out. So I'll leave that now for a couple of hours to drip out. I'll run her up and do the same again. I'll run her up and I'll do the same again until I'm satisfied the oil is clean enough coming out of the hub. Okay, thanks guys. Bye bye. Oh, don't forget the old click like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. That would be superb. Alright, cheers guys. Ta.